What's this country? What a big country. Hamer. Phil Hamer. Good evening and welcome to the Burns Center on the campus of Missouri Valley College, Grover C. Redford Gymnasium. And it is senior night for the men's volleyball team. And before this match with one of the top teams in the country, the Spartans of Missouri Baptist, we will honor the seniors on this Valley volleyball team. They have 5 of them will be honored tonight. João Amaral out of Brazil, Zach Bumstead, who is from St. Peters, Missouri, that's in the St. Louis area. Andrew Bempaw out of Illinois, Zach Brown from Plainfield, Illinois, and Chris McFadden, who is from Aurora, Illinois. So we will have the ceremony for the seniors, and then we'll have volleyball tonight. And joining me for the ceremony is Brett Holt, Director of Volleyball Operations, and Brett will talk about these seniors, and then we have the Missouri Baptist Spartans in, and we're going to see a very good volleyball team tonight, aren't we?
We are. They're loaded from top to bottom, so it's going to be a big one tonight.
All right. Well, let's take a look at these seniors as we'll begin with the seniors. Jason Fistick, who is the men's coach, will be presenting a plaque, and I guess first we have Andrew Bempaw. Andrew is out of Illinois, and Sam and Tina Bempaw, his parents, exercise science. He's basically played JV, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Came to us this year, first year player. Came from junior college out in California. He's friends with a couple of the guys, so but been a great person for the program in his first year, and he's just a good kid. He does what we tell him to do. Works hard, comes to practice every day, takes care of all his responsibilities. So,
all right, Zach Brown is next.
Zach Brown. Zach was also a junior college transfer, came to us last year from Santa Monica College. He had a very good first year as a junior, all conference, second team, and this year's been up and down for the whole group, and he was hurt early, had to sit out the first few games, and then has come on here of late.
All right, he is from Plainfield, Illinois, an economics and finance major. I like what you're giving them. You're giving them all a laundry basket. Maybe they'll learn how to do some laundry, huh?
Some of them probably need it. Those presents are from the guys. The team always, it's a little tradition, they chip in some money and then they get the guys different stuff. I don't know what all is in there. I probably don't want to know.
Okay.
But then obviously the athletic department gives out the watches to all the players, and then we get the frame thing it's a 11 by 14 poster of some action shots from the season. So.
All right. João Amaral, we'd announced him, a Rio de Janeiro. He's an economics major, and he's been with the club for several years now.
Yep, 4-year player, came in as a freshman. First 3 years, setting position, first 3 years he played behind Will McCracken, who was all conference, and but played in a defensive role, and now as a senior, he started off setting at the beginning of the year, and then he moved into the outside hitter position, which he's playing the last few years.
All right, Chris McFadden, we saw him, Aurora, Illinois. His parents are Mel and Lisa. He came up and said, my sister Jen is here as well. He's an economics major. Tell me a little about Chris before we get to Zach Bumstead.
Chris is a good kid. Great family. They come to a lot of our away matches from Illinois. Another 4-year player, has done a lot in the programs, put in a lot of hard work. He came in as a little chubby 6'5" kid, and has just worked his butt off. And so he's been a good teammate, good person to have in the program.
And finally, Zach Bumstead out of St. Peters. Todd and Don Bumstead, he's an exercise science major, tells me his sister Allie and Runt are here. I guess that's what he says. And his brother Josh. So tell me a little bit about Mr. Bumstead.
Bumstead's the same as Chris. Great family life. They're at all of our matches, and they've been there for all 4 years from St. Louis kid. So just a great teammate, a great person. He works his butt off. He had knee surgery before season last year. That kid is hurt. I mean, he's struggling. He's struggling with his knee right now, and he's just trying to hang on to the end of the year. And so, props to him. He comes. He only practices about half the time, and he shows up at game day. And you would never know that he's hurt, but when the practice is over, when game's over, he's in the training room, and he's definitely hurting.
He's got that right knee all braced up. So again, there you have your seniors for you: Joel Lamoral, Zach Bumstead, Andrew Bempaw, Chris McFadden, and Zach Brown. Now we get ready for the match, and again, Brett and Jessica Gates will call it for us, as should be a good one tonight. The Vikings come in 8-10 overall, and they're 2-4 in league play. And for Missouri Baptist, as I said, they're one of the tops. They're 17-6. I have them at 5-0 in conference play, and Jessica Gates has a lot of the statistics, and Gates has a lot of the statistics, and she'll be telling those as we go along tonight. This Missouri Baptist team is ranked in the top 10 in a lot of categories. The last time the Vikings played them, lost back in February, 27-29, 17-25, and 9-25. It sounds like, Brett, in that first match, the first is pretty close, 27-29. We'll talk about it a bit, but first our national anthem. All right, we'll turn things over to Jessica Gates in just a moment for the play-by-play tonight. But Brett, the first time these teams played, I noticed the first set was 27-29. So the Vikings played that one pretty close that night, at least in the first part of that match.
They did. That first set at Missouri Baptist was a good one. I mean, it was back and forth from the start. If I remember correctly, there was a play late that was a bad error that cost us the first set. And after that, it was kind of the air went out of sails. So hopefully we can get out to a good start. We're a little undermanned, but
yeah,
I'm sure they're going to play hard.
But this Missouri Baptist team, they're one of the tops, aren't they? I said they're top in our division of the conference, and probably one of the top in the country, aren't they?
Yeah, they're ranked third in the latest poll that came out on Monday, and they're a true number 3. I mean, they have a great setter, freshman that's from the St. Louis area. That was a Division I recruit from Loyola out of Chicago, who is the defending national champ in Division I, and he signed to play there. Then, for whatever reason, came back home, and so they got him late. And Kyle's the real deal.
All right. Well, we're not going to go into it very much, but you are kind of a short roster because of some team rules, and you're enforcing some team rules. So the guys that are out there tonight going to have to battle. We'll see what they'll do, right?
Yeah, they're just going to have to play hard and hopefully play a little inspired, and we'll see what happens.
All right, this will be the final home match, and after tonight, conference tournament time, is that right?
We go to Park on Thursday.
Park on Thursday,
to end the regular season, and then we're off for a full week, and then the conference tournament is 2 weeks from this weekend, April 10th and 11th.
And where will that be?
It's back at Park this year.
Park will be, so it should be rather interesting. I'm going to turn this microphone over to Jessica Gates. So Brett Holt and Jessica Gates will
Come on, Gates.
have the call of tonight's match.
Hello, Gates.
Well, hello.
Welcome.
This is our last one of the season.
I know. I said if the coaching gig doesn't work out, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to go tour the country and do live stream.
Hey, go overseas.
Anybody out there need a live streamer?
You're going to have the duo right here.
They're going to be like, no thanks. Gates, you remember these senior nights. What are the guys thinking, feeling out there on the court?
It's nerve-wracking, honestly. It's so much fun, to be recognized for all your years. Out of the 5, isn't 3, or was it, how many were here since the beginning?
3, Joao, Zach Bumstead, and Chris McFadden.
I was here for all 4 years, and it's awesome, but it's also super sad.
Yeah.
But I'm sure these guys are ready to get things rolling, and hopefully they can come out with a good win on senior night.
Yeah, that would be nice.
This would be
it's going to be a tough one, but
a big upset if they did.
Like Q said, they're going to have to play tough from the start. I think the start is going to be the crucial point. If we can hang around like we did in the first set at MOBAP a little bit and have a little bit of momentum, then maybe we can carry that on. But hopefully we don't come out flat. But we'll see. MOBAP is going to start with the serve here.
We got number 10, Chris Flood, Jr. Outside, back to serve for MOBAP to start off this first set.
Pretty decent crowd here for senior night.
It is.
I see James Lane and Andre Scott in the crowd off of their national tournament basketball run.
You went to that, didn't you?
I did. I talked about it with the girls. I said it's probably outside of volleyball, which we've done some amazing things in the last 3 years as a program. That run by them was probably the single best thing since I've been here. Just to watch them compete, grow as a team with a bunch of freshmen that had to play significant minutes, buy into Coach Lance's philosophies and all that good stuff, to really see them put it together and make that run to a conference tournament championship and then into the national tournament.
I've been here since, not trying to show my age, since 09, and they've had good teams, good people, but never a full team like they did this year.
Yeah, they really bought into the team thing this year, and I think it was that senior group really led the charge, and it was pretty awesome. See, I watched them practice probably about 20 minutes every day, and they put in the work for sure, both coaching staff and the players, so it was nice to see that pay off.
Well, good season like that, like for our girls team, for volleyball, good season like that means good recruits for this next season.
Yeah.
So there's always, they did that with those many seniors, but they also have that backspin of good recruits coming in for next season.
Killed by number 4, Gustavo Cosma. Cosma played JV as the middle in the first match, and now with the injury to Chris McFadden, he is coming in to play right side, which he hasn't played in a match all season. So he got the first kill there. And
that was a nice touch by Victor, as you would have told me. Wrong arm.
I was going to just say, he just pulled a Jessica Gates and went to his left and dug the ball with his right.
Hey, at least he got it up. It would have been nice if it was playable.
If he played it with his left arm, it would have went up in the court. But Gates never wanted to listen to me.
Hey, I didn't need it. I got him up. Viking sitting it back, and it is a block for MOBAP. MOBAP, they have pretty tall hands, I believe, don't they? Welch leads the team with the total of 76 solo blocks for the season. Is that high for a men's team?
Yeah, that's pretty good. He is I believe, trying to find it here, 6'10".
Oh.
6'10" senior from Massachusetts. He actually was a transfer from the University of Hawaii. And they have a couple D1 transfers on this squad, which really helps.
Victor with the great up, and they are sending it outside to Joao off the top of the hands. Mobap able to get it up in their back row attack, not even touching that net.
But kind of, that's the old look at your hand like your hand did something wrong.
It was like Jello or something. No, you just missed it.
We always do that. It's kind of somebody else did it.
Yeah,
No,
it's easier to blame your hand than it is yourself.
He didn't miss his hand on that one.
No, and which led to a kill for Mobap, and they are up 6-3 in this first set.
Served by Micho, number 1.
Joao able to get that ball up, and it's going back out to Joao on the outside, off the blocker's hands, and it is a kill. So Joao went from starting setting, to now he's an outside.
Joao's done a little bit of everything in his 4 years. He came in as a setter, and he played behind Will McCracken, who was a 4-year starter. And then this was his year, and he was going to be the setter in line. And then with injuries and everything that's happened, we needed his ball control and his swing on the outside. So he has since, in the second half of the year, moved to the outside hitting position. And then we have Phil, who's come along a little bit here at the setting position, a freshman out of Germany.
Was he Phil originally on varsity, or is he played? I didn't know if he played JV or. We got miss serve for Mobap. It is now a 7-5 lead for Mobap. This is the closest game we've had so far this match. Let's see if Valley can keep pushing it. Senior Joao back to serve for the Vikes. Ball's over and in. They're sending it out to their outside, and it is a kill for number 10, Chris Flood. Flood, actually, he's one of the quick leaders. This is about aces, but he's the main ace hitter on their team, but he's actually ranked number 12 in the nation for kills per game. He averages about 3.5 per game.
Chris is a good player. That pass was drawn off the net, and we talked about it. Q and I talked about it before it started. Number 22, Kyle Foley for Missouri Baptist, is one of the best setters in the NAIA. He was a Division I recruit for Loyola Chicago. That was the defending national champ, and he was supposed to go there, and for whatever reason he stayed home. So that was a big.
That was
a big recruit for Mobap to get, and I believe he signed with them pretty late in the season, but he changes everything for them. You've been around volleyball. If you have a good setter that can put the ball in the hitter's wheelhouse, then you have a lot more opportunities to score, and that's what he does.
Yeah, he actually is number 2 in the nation for assists per game. He averages about 11. In total, he has a total of 850 before this match.
So far, we're hanging tough here, and that's what I said has to happen. We can't give up big runs of points. And this is what happened at Missouri Baptist. We hung around, went back and forth the whole set, and I think there was a late error at the end, and we ended up losing 29-27 in the first set, and then the wheels fell off from there.
Nice tool for number 1,
Niko Janisevich, and one-on-one situation for him. He is going to put the ball down about 90% of the time in a one-on-one situation. Another great player at the pin for Missouri Baptist.
Valley able to get that up, sending it to their middle. Number 11, Jose Martins. It is now a 10-9 lead for Mobap.
Great swing by Jose out of the middle. one of my favorite stories, and I can explain that a little later, but makes me smile to see him on the court and doing good things.
Little excitement out of our senior over there.
Yep, Joao and Jose, Team Brazil with stuff block over here on the right side on Sean Benedict.
Brown with the great serve. Mobap able to get it up, sitting it to the right side, and it is a kill for number 14, Sean Benedict.
Like all great setters do, Sean got blocked the play before, the setter went right back to him, and that shows a lot of confidence in it. The setter and their hitters to go right back to him right after an error, and he put the ball back down.
Well, at volleyball with a young age, a little turn on that one, but volleyball at a young age, I mean, you're taught to set the person that just missed. I mean, at least I was when I did set. You give it to him, give him another chance, and
hands Jessica Gates.
I used to.
I know. I've seen him in practice.
I just realized 10 and number 1, they switched their shoes. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that. 10 and 1. Where are we at here? Oh, yeah. They each have. Yeah, that's interesting. And they have crazy socks on. Looks like Brazil socks, and I'm not sure what the other ones are.
Victor with a great pass. Epping sending it to back row to Zach Brown. Mobap able to get it up and over. Seeing an outside Joao and is hit into the net. Set was a little low. How much pressure do you think? Oh.
We got a net call on Missouri Baptist, going to give the point to the Vikings. Coach Yelling is not too happy with the call. He is questioning the net call, but he says forget about it.
So Jalen came in. Is he now setting?
Jalen is now setting. He just replaced Phil at the setting spot.
How much pressure does that have to be, you know, not starting all year, coming in? I mean, that has to be some kind of pressure.
They've been going back and forth, actually, so I don't know that it's a big situation for him. Phil's been starting, but at some point in the match, the last 2 weeks, he comes in for a set or two. So it's just who is setting better that day. So,
Bumstead sitting in that a little long on a creative set by Jackson.
We need to get our passes back in system to our setter. Right now, we're a little bit all over the place, and as I speak, there's an ace by Amicho.
That was a great serve.
And Coach Fistick's going to call his first timeout. Down 11-16 in set 1.
I mean, Valley came back so close to just give it up.
That's been the problem for most of the season. They're competitive, and they play together, and they play hard. And then once a few points go to the bad, then things start falling apart. So I think this early timeout was a good one, and hopefully we can get out of this timeout, get a side out, and start to string together a point or two. Need to get the crowd back into it here.
I know, they're a little quiet. They got some signs over there that say Zach Tech.
That's the Bumstead family. And like we were talking about in the pregame, Bumsteads are always at every match. It's kind of like the Gates.
Yep.
The Gates of the men's team.
The team.
They're
the
at
team
every.
Parents.
Yep, they're everywhere. And a great family, supportive of everybody. They're always making snacks and stuff for the bus. And the little sisters are like little sisters of the whole team. The guys love them. Yeah.
See, my siblings never made it to games. Great set to the outside, but a double block on Jose. Point for Mobac. Or,
That was a
oh,
point.
just kidding. It went on out on our side. It's point for Vikings. Take that back.
Gates, we're going to need you to step up your game here a little bit.
Sorry. Great pass for Mobap, sitting it over, and it is a kill for number 11, Kevin Knight.
Great pass by number 7, the libero, Josh Comer, that set that whole thing up. Kyle's front row, he jump sets, draws the left front block, and then that leaves a one-on-one with the middle. And like I said, a one-on-one situation in the men's game, you're scoring about 75, 80% of the time.
But when you get those balls up, feels amazing. Victor running to that line and is out. Point for Vikings. It is a 17-13 lead for Mobap in this first set. We have number 14, Joao, back to serve. I'm mixing everyone's names up tonight. Sorry about that. Joao serve is a little long, giving Mobap a point, 18-13. We have 22 back to serve, Kyle Foley.
My mom just sent me a text. She must be listening.
I saw her right on your Facebook post. You got to clarify.
My mom and my little niece Avery are watching. That's what the text said. So hello, Mom. Hello, Avery. Miss you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.
Pekovic service over and in, sending it to their middle, and is off number 11's hands. Jose. Oh, they're saying Mobap touched that, giving the point for Missouri Valley Vikings.
That was a great block by Jose. He got up wide and big. I think that is rain. And if that's rain, it is.
I brought my umbrella in.
Coming
I came
down
prepared.
because I can hear it hitting the.
Lucky me, I never had to deal with block and coverage, but it does not look easy.
It's not. Blocking is no fun.
Especially being that tall and lengthy. I mean, getting up and having to pass that ball up. Kudos for ones that can do it. Flood serve is over and in. Valley able to get it up. Off double block for Mobap and point for Vikings as it lands out.
I said it before. The pass set that whole thing up. Good serve by Flood. Better pass by Joao. And then that opens up the offense. And so Zach Brown had one block in front of him, and then the middle block was a little late closing, and he used that middle block for a point.
Kill for Mobap, making it a 20-16 lead for Mobap in this first set. We have number 17 back to serve, Shane Welch. Welch's serve is over and in. Victor able to get it with an overpass. Mobap playing it up to their outside soft tip, and it is a kill for Mobap for number 1, Micho
Janisevich.
They have a couple fellas from Puerto Rico.
Yes, they do. And Micho's from Serbia, and the rest.
Can't really say much. Ours is all from
kids.
Brazil. Number 14, Sean Benedict, able to get up and block over number 4, Gustavo.
You're struggling today.
I am with names. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. For all of you out there, it's Jessica
day.
Gates. You can get gatesj@moval.edu for all your hate mail.
Or my lovely student account. You can try that one too.
I was looking to see if we have comments.
It's not
but
on our chat. I don't know how to flip it over.
if you're listening and you want a shout out, you can.
I don't know if our chat's working. Our live stream's working.
You can always email me. I have my phone right here. Holt, HOLTB, as a boy, at moval.edu.
And he will take this.
And we can give you a shout out.
Brown with an awesome swing in the back row, sending it up to also their back row. Victor making an amazing save. And calling number 14 with the back row attack.
That was a good call. We had the down official was motioning to the R1 to make the call. It was a little late, but it was the right call. It's right here in front of us, and his foot was definitely on the line. And for a back row attack, you have to take off completely behind the line. You can land wherever, but if any part of your foot is touching the line and you contact the ball above the height of the net, then that is an illegal attack called a back row attack.
And the setter cannot set in front of the 10-foot line if they do that as well. That was a trick hit.
Yeah, trick hit. Is that what they call them?
Trick hit. Yep, so I'm going to call it. So I'm sticking to it.
That's what makes MOBAP so tough. Like I said, good setting, good pin hitters, good middles. And when they have two offensive weapons in the front row and then they're able to set the back row attack that effectively, it makes them very difficult to defend. And Zach Brown hits the back row attack out of bounds, and the Vikings lose set number 1, 25-18. And the two teams switch sides. What do you think about set 1, Gates?
I mean, Vikings came back and fought in some points. I mean, and obviously mental errors. But, I mean, it's pretty good, especially with some players playing different positions and kind of a newer lineup. When did they make that newer lineup? Was it the past week?
Well, it changes about every day, I think. Like last night, poor senior Chris McFadden, he's in a boot right now. He started on the court just to start senior night, and then they subbed him out after first point. He tripped. I wasn't at practice, but they said he tripped transitioning and literally tripped over the line and twisted his ankle, and it's pretty bad. So he's in a boot right now. Hopefully he can be ready to go by Thursday when they play at Park for the last regular season match. But if not, he should be completely healthy by conference tournament.
Park, I looked up. They're 4-1 in conference. They're with their one loss. I'm believing MOBAP, right?
Yep, to this MOBAP team, and I believe it was in 5 sets. So that'll set up a showdown with those two teams. I think I think it's next Tuesday.
We have big hands for Caillou on Thursday. I saw on for the quick leaders, for those that look up online for the stats, he is the top blocker for our conference.
Nation.
Yeah.
I think in the nation as well, maybe. Caillou's had a great season. He was just named NAIA Player of the Week nationally this past week. I see the lacrosse team is gathering over on the gray. They must be having practice since it's raining inside after the match. And they're off to a good start too. They're, I believe, 5-1, 6-1, and their only loss came a couple weeks ago on spring break to one of the top 3 teams in the nation. And they just moved up. I saw Andy's press release. They just moved up to 7th, I believe, in the nation right now. So they're off to a good start.
For a newer team on campus, that's pretty impressive. Like this weekend, girls had I believe it was just a scrimmage, but they actually won their first scrimmage. There's girls that played volleyball on there. There's girls that played softball on there. I mean, they're just throwing in different girls on each team. And I mean, for them to come out with the first win for their first scrimmage,
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Impressive. Did you go?
I didn't go. I was not in town, but I heard it was a good, fun atmosphere. The men played and the women.
Mm-hmm.
I know they had a bunch of people cooking out and stuff, but it's pretty awesome because I know they've been trying to field a team in the last year, and they just haven't been able to get enough girls to do that. And now that they have a team, I think they're playing sort of like a club schedule this year and hoping to get a varsity schedule started next year and actually compete on the varsity level. So it's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, with me working in student employment, they all come in and they all work for their coach, of course. And I think they had 3 girls at the beginning of the season, 3 or 4 or something like that. So obviously not enough to fill a team, but, you know, as they made friends, they just recruited girls. Last minute quits for softball, and they had a goalie. I mean, there you go.
Zach Bumstead is, I believe, trash talking to the commentators.
Well, he's a little sweaty, so if he is.
He said the worst commentators, and I don't know that he even knows what's going on.
I don't think he could do it. But even though I think it said he was a broadcast major on the thing.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely
he
not
is a mass communications major on our input.
Definitely not a mass communications major.
To start off this second set, we have Jalen back to serve for Missouri Valley. Jalen serve is over and in. Mobap able to get it up, sitting it to the right side, off the blocks, and point for Mobap.
We're going to have to pass the ball early in this set and not get down at a big deficit.
Passing wasn't too bad last game.
It wasn't too bad in that spurt that we gave up all those points in that run. That's when our passing started to go a little south on 65.
Gustavo looks like when he's having problems right now, he's reaching behind him, especially on that last one.
You know, Gustavo hasn't played in that position all year.
So
he's been a middle. He just played JV middle before this match, and then with Chris's injury last night, he is basically thrown in there, and so I think they're living with some of his mistakes, but hopefully he can get some blocks up here at the net.
With his big
and
arms,
be
yeah.
6'8" and block.
For those that just saw, Jose with an awesome kill. Giving Vikings, well, then we leave Brown with a missed serve for the Vikings. Now it's a 3-1 lead for Missouri Baptist. We have Sean Benedict back to serve for the Baptist. Serve is over and in. Victor able to get it up, sitting it back to the right side, and is a little long by number 4, Gustavo.
Coach Fiskey's giving out some pointers over here to Gus. I think he was talking about his approach angle.
Victor with a great save. Sending it back to Zach Brown off the Mobap's hands, and it is a kill for Zach Brown.
Great up by our libero number 9, Victor Costa, who laid out, got the ball up, and was able to set up that swing for Zach Brown out of the back row.
We have Katie Green, the MBU Sports Information GA. She's watching the game.
Hello, Katie.
And Ocho, zoom out. Is that Jesse?
Is that Jesse?
I don't know. Jesse, if that's you, let us know, because you're the only Ocho I know. Micho back to serve for the Spartans. The serve is over and in. Victor able to get that up off his chest. Brown with the swing off Mobap's hands. Sending it to their outside, unable to get that over. A little outside miscommunication for the Spartans.
You won't see that happen very often from the Missouri Baptist side, but we'll take it. We seem to be going a lot more out of the back row in this set to start the set. I don't know if that's by design or...
I don't exactly know what Brown did on that one, but...
He looked like he was running away from, like it was dodgeball.
Looked at that, or it looked like he was trying to jump on a horse. Either or wasn't what he was supposed to be doing. Back to serve, we have number 11, Kevin Knight for Mobap. Sitting it long, point for Vikings.
Alyssa Sturgeon is getting a workout over there with the ball girl with this big gym. The ball can, if it hits out of bounds,
You
it
know
travels on this south side for a good, I don't know how many yards that would be,
25.
at least.
I was lucky, never had to be a ball girl, but it's raining, so someone might be having to be a water girl in a second. Not fun.
Good block by number 17, Shane Welch, on the outside.
We have number 22, Kyle Foley, back to serve for the Spartans. Serve is over and in. Victor able to get that up. Jalen sending it to the outside, and Brown sending it a little long on the side.
I'm sure he wants that one back. The block didn't go up, and he just hit that ball long, I think, to the bench of Mobap.
A little. It was a little close to him. Foley within the net, giving Vikings Mobap an 8-5 lead.
Zach Bumstead subs back out and gives a little smile.
We won't say anything nice about him anymore.
He might be running some sprints.
Sprint for every grin we get. Bekovic's serve is over and in. Mobap able to get it up, sending it to their outside. Valley able to get it up, passing it outside to Brown, and it is a off the block. Number 10, Chris Flood, in point for Vikings.
Number 3, Damon Bekovic enters. Did you say that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No worries. He has a great number, though.
I'm sure. Is that yours?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it was.
Missed serves is a key factor right now for the second set.
Yeah.
For both teams.
Against a team like Missouri Baptist, who really passes the ball well, you have to kind of take some chances, and it looks like we're trying to do that.
The dynamic right now is kind of low on both teams. I mean, there we got a little bit of a cheer, but both sides are pretty quiet. I mean, we have a big gym, so it's kind of hard to fill it up. But even the crowd, somehow we got to get them pumped up. Jalen service over and in. The Spartans able to get it up to their middle with no defense off the block.
Here we go. We need to get a good pass here inside out. We can't give up any more points. Keep it at least a 3-point.
But Shane Welch back to serve for the Spartans. Draw able to get it up, sitting it back to the right side for Zach Brown, and it is a kill. See, all it takes sometimes is one little run.
Yep. Hopefully we can get a good serve here in the court. And we have some bigger blocks. Jose and Gustavo are in the front row right now. Hopefully we can get some hands on the ball here. He was over. Another back row attack by number 10, Chris Flood. And they're looking like they were surprised. I could see that from over here.
But you know, when you do it, you're never wrong. I know for a fact I did the same thing.
I know you did. I coached you for 2 years.
It was never your fault.
No, it was always my fault.
Well, your fault,
My
yes,
fault, not your
my
fault.
Even though you got a yellow card and a red card, and I just got one yellow card.
We won't talk about that.
As he was
Focus
spying from the outside gym windows. Let me say that.
Focus on the game at hand right here.
Service over and long, giving Vikings a point. It is a 11-10 lead for Mobap, down by 1.
Bumstead goes back in, and Victor will serve for the other middle, Jose, in this rotation.
Nice serve for Victor. Oh. See, as a defensive player, those are so frustrating. When ones you can, I mean, from the sidelines, I know I've done the same thing, but just watching that ball drop when you know if someone would have just hit the floor, it would have been up.
You're dug in so bad, ready for the hard stuff, and then it hits the net.
Oh, go.
Oh,
Bumstead able to get that over. Sending it to their outside, hitting it down line right on the other side of Gustavo's hands. Vikings taking a timeout with a 13-10 lead for Missouri Baptist.
that was a pretty good timeout by Coach Fistick. I know right now I can see him talking in the huddle. I know he's looking right at Gustavo and talking about the blocking situation. There can't be there's no reason that the outside hitter hits down the line that easily with being 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
So I know that's what the conversation is about. I can see it. I've been in those situations. But it was a good early timeout. Hopefully it'll break a little of this couple of point momentum that Missouri Baptist was on, and we can get a side out of this timeout.
For those that are just tuning in, was a 25-18 win for Missouri Baptist for the first set. It went back and forth for a while, and Mo Baptist kind of took it at the end with key points, key plays, and really, for this set too, really utilizing their back row hits.
Yeah, they're just good all the way around, so it's going to take an A-plus effort in order to steal a set here, but they can do it. I've seen them play well at times, so we just need to get it momentum back on our side, and I think they need to invest a little bit emotionally.
Got Micho back to serve for Mobat. Victor able to get it up, but is soaring out on Mobat's side, giving Mobat the 14-10 lead. Brown able to get it up, sitting it to the middle, Bumstead, and it is off number 1, Nico, and it is a kill for Bumstead. Even though we weren't going to give him compliments, but that was a nice swing.
That was a good swing, and the sisters are there waving their signs.
Valley serve is over and out. Another missed serve for Missouri Valley.
That one was not close.
No.
At all. We can't, if you're going to float serve the ball in, or if you're going to float serve period, that ball needs to go in. We can't give up free points on float serves.
See, for float serve for men, are those considered easier?
It just depends on the team. Some teams struggle passing float serves. Some teams, they're like, you might as well just throw the ball over.
So I know, like, me, I love the hard top spins. Float serves, They weren't my favorite.
That's usually the case. They're usually, top spins are usually easier to pass.
More control. Ooh. Miscommunications for the Vikings, giving the Spartans 17-11 lead in the second set.
Jalen is coming back in for the setting position.
Back to serve, we have Robert Hall for the Spartans. Serve is going to be over and in. Brown with the pass, sending it back to the outside. Wow, and it hit instead of giving Baptist the point. See, like we said, just a switch of a dime, and Mobap is up by 7 points in the second set.
Yeah, it doesn't take much, and we need somebody to put the ball down. Put the ball down. There we go. Slide out by Zach Brown again out of the back row. Both teams are going to that back row attack, and it seems to be working on both sides when it's in system and effective.
Senior Joao back to serve. It's over and in. Baptist able to get it up, and it is a nice swing by number 14, Sean Benedict, for the kill.
And that was another back row attack.
You know, I was looking at number 14, and he's kind of, him and number 10 are kind of shorter, but I look at the thing, and they are actually 6'3". It's just the guy they're standing next to, 6'10".
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a whole 1.5 feet on me.
Sean also, and I don't know what his vertical is, but he can get off the ground. Number 14. He might be, what does it say? 6 foot,
Yeah.
6'1". But his vertical is out of the gym.
That's kind of like we had Stan. He transferred out, but that's kind of how he was as he was here walking Joao on senior night. Valley sending it outside to Brown with the kill with the triple block.
There's a couple points strung together here by Missouri Valley, and the crowd's starting to clap and get into it a little bit more. We just need to be able to string a couple more together to get some momentum really on this side and get the crowd into it.
Begovic serve is into the net. Another missed serve for Vikings.
Well, we got a couple back.
20-14 in this second set. We got number 10, Chris Flood, back to serve for the Spartans. Brown able to get that up. Jalen sitting it over on the second, and it is a kill.
A little smile by Jalen after that one. Setters love when they get to do that, take the ball over on second, especially when it scores. If it doesn't make coaches too happy because they're usually like set the hitter. But when it does, especially when we're shorter, I can speak for that. And then he goes back and puts the ace serve. So there's another 4-1 scoring run here in the last 5 points. So draws them within 4. You never know what can happen once you get a little more momentum on your side.
He's trying to pump up the team with each point.
Jalen always plays hard, practices hard, comes in and plays hard.
Victor with the great ups. They are sitting it outside to Zach Brown with the double block with no touch and point for the Spartans.
Great up by Victor. Pretty good set by Jalen. And just hit the ball long. But I like what we're doing the last few points here. Now, big side out coming up, hopefully.
Welcher serve is over and in. Joao able to get it up. Jalen sitting it back to Zach Brown down line, and it is, they're calling it in. Point for Zach Brown.
Steve Bilke is using the wrong side of the
I noticed that.
wrong side of the flag.
He must
Took
not
all the
like
in or
that
out.
flag. Or like line judging.
You used to have to do that,
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
You loved it.
If getting tackled by sweaty guys is
And yelled
fun
at by
for
coaches.
line judging, yeah, those you just got to laugh at the coaches. Especially when they're your own coach. You just got to look at them and laugh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Spartan serve is over to Joao with passing it up, sending it back to Joao.
Well, it's not going to work.
Spartan sending it to their back row. Victor with the pass.
Oh, my goodness.
Victor saw it.
He saw it.
Didn't connect.
He moved backwards into the side to take a ball that was in front.
It's
Probably
like slow-mo for him.
one of the most frustrating things as a coach to watch is when the ball's in front of you and you move sideways or backwards and not forward. And we always say, move where? Just
Forward.
in case, move forward to the ball.
Even though our first instinct is to move backwards. It's 23-17 in this second timeout for the Vikings. Last game, 25-18. Vikings needing to string a couple more points. I mean, we've had a couple good strands of points going on, but it's like a missed serve or a long hit. A mental error is what's keeping us behind. Are we having a halftime sort of entertainment today?
No, we are not. We're going straight through.
Straight through.
Speaking of other sports, and I believe that was just lightning outside. It's supposed to thunderstorm. But they say April showers, but we're not in April yet. But supposed to have bad thunderstorms here in Marshall tonight.
The sky was a little iffy when I came
And
in.
I hear some thunder, I believe. That is definitely thunder. Everybody's looking up at the ceiling.
I'm just waiting for the roof to start leaking.
Let's not talk about that. But touching in on some of the other sports, football, our football team started spring practices today, or actually yesterday. So we're getting back into the football swing of things.
And you guys, for volleyball women's, you guys started the day after spring break. I heard
Women's,
6 o'clock
we
in the
started.
mornings.
Well, we only had that because of basketball was practicing.
Oh, yeah.
We're going in the afternoon, but we started official spring practices, so that's been fun. Always like to get back in the gym. And the baseball and softball teams have been playing.
Baseball has had a pretty good
Baseball's
season.
off to a good start.
25-17 set for the Spartans in this second set.
All right, let's hope set 3 we can put something together here.
For those tuning in, it is a 2-0 lead for the Spartans in this game to 5. It is 25-18 first set, 25-17 second set. Coach, from your perspective, what is something that needs to be changed in order for Vikings to get this one?
2 big things, and that's our passing, serve receive passing, and our block has to start doing something. And it's tough. I mean, they're a good offensive team, but we need to start getting some hands in front of some hitters' faces and getting some touch. We don't necessarily need to block the ball for points, but we need to slow it down a little bit, and so we can get some touches and transition into some point-scoring opportunities. And that just hasn't happened very much to this point. So I believe if we can pass the ball, slow their offense down a little bit, and transition into some points, this could be a different match. But we're gonna have to that's gonna have to be a focal point, I think.
You know, for being the #1 seed in the South Division, they aren't really doing much to be beating us. Like, I mean, they're doing a couple key plays and a couple, key situations, but, they're not really outshining us for them to be 5-0 in conference.
And they don't do anything. I mean, I think the big difference is they don't have one great superstar. They're just all good. They're all good. So nothing really looks flashy. They just go about their business.
Mm-hmm.
They pass the ball. They serve extremely well. Obviously, they have big blocks at the net. So, I mean, they just take care of their business, and they don't make a lot of errors. And so it doesn't seem really high, flashy, bouncing the ball off like some of the teams do here and there. They just play very consistent and at a very high level. So they're definitely going to be in the hunt for the conference tournament, and probably on the national level. They actually are hosting the NAIA national tournament the next 2 years. So that'll be in St. Louis, and they'll be playing in the national tournament regardless of their finish in the conference tournament as the host school. So this year they definitely will be able to contend at nationals.
With the conference tournament, I know we've talked about this briefly, but Does everyone make it or top in each division?
Everyone makes the conference tournament,
Okay.
and you get seeded out by your finish during the regular season. So the fourth in our South Division, the fourth and fifth seed will play the play-in game. And then the semifinals will be the second versus the third place team. And then the winner of the 4-5 game will play the one team in the semifinals. Then those two semifinal winners will play on Saturday for the conference tournament.
When does your tournament start?
That'll be in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
Because is this the week that everyone's done?
I believe, yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
Great swing by Joao off Mobap's tall hands. Point for Vikings. It is a 2-1 lead for Missouri Baptist.
And then the national tournament is what you were kind of talking about. The conference tournament winner.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 divisions get an automatic berth into nationals. Whoever wins the conference tournament. The host school gets a bid, so that'll be Missouri Baptist the next 2 years. And then there'll be one at-large team that will be based off the national rankings, depending on who makes it from the conference tournament winners. They'll take the next highest ranked team when you take out all those conference tournaments winners. Q has made it back down to the court side here. I saw him up there talking to the boss man. Shane Welch will go back to serve here early in set 3. Vikings down 3-1.
Victor with a good pass starting it off, sending it back to Joao, forcing Welch to pass that ball, and it is over and out. Watching Joao as he first got here, his passing always amazed me. He just made everything look so easy, and every year it seems like, he's always been behind someone, but he always pushed and strived, and, he made himself known on that court.
Well, Joao came in contending for the setting spot, and like I said earlier in the broadcast, Will McCracken was the 4-year starter, and he was behind him for 3 of those years. But with Joao's high level of volleyball IQ and his ball control, as you spoke of, we had to find a way to get him on the court. And so he played more of a defensive role in those 3 years out of the back row for his ball control and defense, just because he was one of the best ones that we had.
Yes. We got Sean Benedict back to serve for the Spartans. It is over and out over Joao's head. It is a 5-3 lead for the Spartans. We got Heskins coming in for the Vikings.
Jr. from the St. Louis area. Went to Francis Howe. I'm not forget which one it was. They have so many now. I think there's 4 of them.
And it is over and long. We got Bumstead coming back in, but Victor coming in for the back row. Those are so, when someone comes in to serve and they don't get it in.
Micho with another ace and an early timeout by Coach Fistick and the Vikings, down 3-7 to start set 3.
We've had quite a bit of service errors, like service receive errors right now.
Both of them. I mean, we've had a high number of service errors, and they've aced us quite a few times. I don't know what
7-3 right now, and I
don't
think
know
we
what those
missed.
stats are, but it's definitely played, like I said, in between sets 2 and 3. The serve and pass has definitely been a key to why Missouri Baptist is out to the 2-0 lead.
See, I've seen teams that do this, like where they run or they play. Do you like when teams do this? Or
I do.
You do?
It's something we'll probably do next year in the women's side. It's just a couple different reasons, especially you don't see as much on the men's side. because most teams have a rotation and they stick to it.
Yeah.
But on the women's side, you know me, I don't hesitate if somebody is not playing well, to get somebody in there that might help us on the floor. So I think it does two things. It allows people to stay loose and warm. So when they get called to the floor, that they're not just have been standing there for a set or two.
Yeah.
And it keeps them out of the huddle, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get so many people in there and people start talking and lose focus and are worried about other things than listening to what's being said. So two things for my point of view.
No, I agree with that. Especially, I mean, like we said, Heskins came off that court cold. I mean, and coming into the third set, missing his serve. He didn't really have much to go off of and warm up. I mean, as you saw, for those that are watching too, MOBAP is warming up between each set. They're always doing something, setting, hitting, you know, keeping themselves warm. And, I mean, I can see, and, I mean, we never did it when I played, but how it could benefit.
The rules have changed, too, in the last few years to allow teams to do that. On the women's side, they never allowed the women to do that. So now you might as well use it. I've seen teams just jog up and down the end line. Some get balls out and pepper, but you have to do that during a timeout off the end line of the court. You can't be in the court.
I mean, so much rules have changed since I've started in '09. Like the uniform rules and, you know, just different, like how now you have to have paid refs for certain games now.
Line judges.
Line judge.
For our women's conference matches, yeah.
That was a nice swing by Jose Martins.
Couple of nice serves by the Vikings that have set up this, I believe, a 3-point run.
It is a 10-6 lead for the Spartans in this third set. We got Bekovic back to serve. Great pass by the Spartans, sending it to their back row off the hands of Brown and Martins.
Great pass by the Spartans. Middle was in system, so you really have to go up with the middle in that situation, and then they set the back row attack right behind, which is called the BIC, right behind the middle, and so it leaves them wide open.
Great swing by Brown off 22's hands, Kyle Foley.
And Kyle takes a look down at his hands and his arms. Like,
What did
how
you
did that
just
happen?
do?
How did that happen?
Great call out. Tara, she was all hand calling for the girls team.
Heads up, ball's coming over.
And Foley trying to jump over the score
Gates
table.
about had somebody in her lap.
No, thank you.
Luckily, we haven't had that happen in the volleyball match, but in basketball, they come running over here.
Great triple block by the Vikings, and it is a point for the Vikings. It is 11-9 lead for the Spartans.
Coach Yanling is going to call a timeout. It'll be MOBAP's first timeout. The Vikings have outscored. We're on a 6-1 scoring run here in the third set. We were down 10-3, I believe.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's crazy what a timeout can do, though. You know, a little bit of a break, a little bit of a pep talk, whether they listen or not.
Right.
But, I mean, it's crazy what one timeout can do for a team's mentality.
Sports Information Director Andy Polverenti is here courtside doing our live stats. He's just an all-around superstar here on campus.
Takes
He just
photos
said
while
doing his
taking the
job.
stats.
He just said doing his job.
So if you have a problem with stats, that's who you contact.
Stats or anything, that's Polverenti A at mobile.edu.
He's really pushing out the emails.
He's looking at me like, I'm going to kill you when this is over. He said, funny guy. That I am. Comedian. Just a regular comedian.
We got Zach Brown spinning the ball, and serve is over and in. Spartans able to get it up, sending it to their huge middle, number 17, Shane Welch.
That is just an unbelievable set from that position.
That was a great connection.
I mean, that pass was probably 12 to 13 feet off the net, and he threw, I don't even want to say throw because it wasn't a throw, but it's kind of like threading the needle.
You have to work with setters to be able to do something like that. Tip a little high for Joao, and nice joust up for Jalen.
And that feels good too. We talked about setters dumping and scoring points and how good that feels when you win a joust with the big hitters, especially when you're a little guy. Jalen just looked at the net back at him, and he's just chomping on that gum. And now, and what happens is you pull him into an error, and Chris Flood is looking over at the bench like, give me the ball, I think.
Yeah.
Is what
I mean, you could just see on their faces. I mean, from the first and second set to now, there's only a couple guys that are still talking and communicating. But that was a nice, weird different swing by number 10, Chris Flood. Back to serve for the Spartans is Chris Flood. He actually is number 1 in the nations for aces per game. Pretty good serve for the Spartans. Bekovic's back row attack is over and in down the line, giving Vikings a point. Is a 13-12 lead. Valley is in this by 1 point.
That was Serbian past Serbian. Damon past Micho, and I believe that they know each other from back playing days in Serbia. And that was a good night. Nobody's digging that ball.
No. Nice swing by Spartans number 1. Back to serve, we have number 17, Shane Welch for the Spartans. Victor able to get that ball up, sending it outside to Bekovic, but blocked by number 14, Sean Benedict. I mean, as you could hear their coach saying, dig, block, dig, block. And he was saying, don't need an ace, dig and block. I mean, for boys, block is key, right?
On that, and when you have a team as big as they are at the net, and that's what he's talking about, they don't necessarily need to go for the serve all that much where it forces errors, service errors, because they know they have a good block at the net and can play defense around that block. So that's what he means by we don't need aces. Just need to get the ball in so you can allow your block to do what they've been doing. And Joao went all or nothing on that one. I mean, that ball was either going to be a kill or he was going to get blocked straight down.
Well, it looked like he was about to sprain his ankle on that one.
We don't need any more injuries at this point.
Especially a key player like that. Draw service over and in. Spartans able to get it up, sending it to the right side. Brown able to solo block, point for the Vikings. Great solo block by Brown. It is a 16-14 lead for the Spartans. Valley behind by 2 in this third set. Joao serve is over and out, a little out on the sidelines.
He wanted that one.
Back to serve, we have number 14, Sean Benedict for the Spartans. And it is an ace right between our 2 probably better passers, Victor and Joao. Vikings call a timeout, 18-14 lead for Benedictine in this third set. For those that tuned in late, Benedictine. I got
Sean
confused
Benedict.
with Benedict. We got Missouri Baptist up by 2, 25-18 and 25-17. I was just going with the flow, Benedict, I guess.
All I can think about is Applebee's right now.
You're going to half off apps off
Well,
this.
I don't know if I'm getting half price advertisers, but I haven't eaten since 11 at
I
lunchtime.
don't know if you're going to want to go out in this lovely rain.
At this point, I don't care.
You can't take my umbrella. I think it was my grandma's back. When you see it, you'll know.
I have an umbrella in my back, in my trunk, but that's not gonna do me any good. Luckily, I'm parked right outside out here, so.
He's a trash bag.
I'm not too worried about it. I ain't gonna mess my hair up. I
For
shaved it
you
today.
all that are listening that don't know, he's bald.
Cleanly shaved.
Cleanly shaved.
They asked
Cleanly
me,
shaved.
the girls asked me during the JV match if I waxed it today. I was like, no, I don't wax
That
it.
would
I
hurt.
just shaved it.
That would hurt. Brown with a nice cut and is a kill in front of the 10-foot line.
That's pretty key. I mean, anytime, it's like any sport, you call a timeout, it's really critical to score a point out of the timeout to try to get some momentum back, and that's what we did on the Zach Brown kill.
Spartans' kill is over and in, giving them a 19-15 lead in this third set. We have number 1 back to serve for the Spartans. Ooh. Valley trying to get that ball up and over and in, but just was not able to achieve it. That serve receive looked a little lazy on the men's side. We got a little cheer coming from the crowd right now.
Yeah, started by the Bumstead girls. they love their Let's Go Vikings cheer.
And missed serve for the Spartans. It is a 2016 lead for the Spartans. We got number 3, Bekovic, back to serve for Valley. Valley serve is over and in. Great pass by the Spartans, sending it to their back row. Bekovic able to get it up, and it's another double by Joao. I believe that's his second for the game.
And he's looking like, not me. I didn't do it.
I don't know what you're calling by spin. He's still pointing going, me? What?
Like, he's confused.
We got Fleming back to serve for the Spartans. Joao sending it over, and number 22, Kyle Foley, with the direct kill. 22-16, Spartans.
Yep.
I mean, they were just on that roll, and it really looks like they've just kind of gave up in a way.
Yeah, the wind looks like it has gone out again. It's only a 5-point deficit, but we're going to have to do something real quick here in the later part of the third set. But service errors aren't going to help that very much.
We have 22, Kyle Foley back to serve for the Spartans. It's a 23-17 lead.
Q is making his way back over here to get the...
Another missed serve. I mean, just this set alone, both teams have missed quite a bit of serves. Yeah, he's coming over here to get your last-minute words for the last home game of the season.
This is the last home game. Season went by fast.
It really did. Another miscommunication error by the Vikings. Game point for Spartans.
That sets up match point, actually. Match point.
My mom always said, even when I played, I said
they've changed the names.
So
it used
many
to be called
times.
set, or it is called set. They used to call them games. And the error by the Vikings.
And I am handing over my headset.
A gate that's been real.
Oh, just kidding. We're wrapping it up. It is a
Q says, wrap it up. He doesn't even
25-18
want to get back
game
on.
for Missouri Baptist, which is 6-0 in conference now. You guys go to Park on Thursday.
Yes. Park on Thursday to end the regular season. Missouri Baptist still has a matchup with Park, which will determine who takes the regular season championship and the #1 seed for conference tournament coming up. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. That's
I hope everyone enjoyed our great commentary.
This is fun.
It is fun.
We've done
Coach
a few
Hull
matches.
is now going to quit coaching and become full-time play-by-play. Thanks for all for tuning in. Have a fun week.
Goodbye.